Good afternoon, Yellow class. We're going to go through our learning for this afternoon, and as per usual we're going to start with our handwriting. So first of all we're going to start with that word any. So we go up into our A, up, down and over for our N and into our Y. Just watch that N. We don't just do a bump, it's up, down and over. Then we've got the word many, which is spelled the same, but we have the M at the beginning. Up, down, over, into our A, into our N, and then our Y. And we just have to watch that M because, again, M isn't like that. It's up, down, over and over. Then we've got the word beautiful. Make sure you spell this word correctly. Tall B, into our E, A, U, tall T, short I. Tall and low F, U, L, dot and cross. And then our last word is the word clothes with an E. It's not cloths. So curly cur, tall L, into our O, which has got one of those horizontal joins, into our tall T, into our H, our E and our S, and then we cross our T. Right, our comprehension for this week. This week we are reading The Wild Woods by Simon James. I do love this story. This is quite a sweet story, this one. I especially like the granddad. I always look for him in the pictures because unfortunately he's not always doing something that's very sensible and he ends up in trouble sometimes. So this one's called The Wild Woods. First one, my comprehension today just says, how would you look after a squirrel? Now, I don't expect any of you have ever looked after a squirrel. You may well have done, but I doubt you have. Have a think. It's just writing some fun sentences and thinking about what you might do if you had a squirrel. And I think you can write down at least 4 ideas about what you would do to look after a squirrel. Now, don't forget capital letters and full stops. And if you're writing I would, remember which would you need, because this is a homophone. It's our OU lucky duck. It's not the wood that comes from a tree, okay? So make sure you get the right one, and I think you could have at least 4 ideas about how you would look after that squirrel. Now today, we are carrying on, just going to wait for the board, oh it's thinking, we are going to be carrying on with our RE, okay? So we started this last week, and if you remember, in our RE, we are thinking about special books. So the idea, the big concept, is that idea of something being special, okay? And in our idea of thinking about special, we are thinking about special books. And last week we started off with the communicate, and I really loved that. Some of you have got some really special books at home, and I've seen them, they've got dedications in the front from the people that gave them to you. So communicate, you started to tell me your ideas about your special books. Then we did a little bit of applying, so we started to think about, are our books special to other people, and does that idea transfer over? So we had our apply section. Today we're starting with our inquiry, and in your book you have got a few little thought bubbles to think about. So think about, how do you treat your special book? Because you're giving it that label special, what do you do that shows other people it's special? Do you keep it somewhere safe? I know some people maybe have a special shelf. Maybe if it's a book that you had when you were a baby, maybe mummy keeps it somewhere special, or daddy. When do you look at your book? Now, some people, their special books, they might not look at them very often. Some people might look at them all of the time. And how do you protect it? I know that sometimes, because our books are special, we have to think about how we might protect them. Maybe that's from younger brothers or sisters, maybe it's from pets. So thinking about how we might protect our books. So that's our inquiry for today. So those are our questions. And then we're going to start thinking about how we can put this idea of special books into a context. And the context we're thinking about is that special book for Christians, which is the Bible. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that next week. Caroline and Anne are going to talk to us about the Bible and why it's special to them. Today what we're going to do is we're going to look at 3 stories. And on the website there are links for these 3 stories. Now you might know some of them because we have read them in collective worship. So we've got the story, The Good Samaritan. I don't think you know this one. This is called the Ten Commandments. This is a story all about Moses, and he goes out and he goes up a mountain and he sees God, or he talks to God, and God gives him 10 things and 10 rules that Christians believe they should live by. So have a think and watch that story. And then the lost sheep. So the lost sheep is actually a parable, that's a story with a hidden meaning that Jesus told. What I'd like you to do is think about what each of these stories might tell Christians about how they should live their lives. So if they want to follow God and Jesus, what can they do to follow their example, and what do these stories tell them? So it's a little bit of your own ideas. You're probably going to be starting your sentence with I think, and then to really explain your answer, I think it tells Christians they should, and then you might want to use that word because. So I think it tells Christians they should look out for other people because God is always caring for them. So try to give your answer a little bit of a justification if you can. Don't worry about getting the right answer. Lots of this is your interpretation of the story and what you think. Okay? And if you can use that word because, that really helps you justify your answer. I hope you've had a great day today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now.